Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Skyscraper. I wasn't really looking forward to this movie, if we're being honest. I was not intrigued. I was not really drawn in by any of the trailers that they released. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is at least consistent in delivering charismatic films, fun films throughout his career. Jumanji was definitely better than I expected, but then we had Rampage, which actually was a little bit of a letdown from what I was hoping it would be. So maybe Skyscraper would also be better than expected. Well, if it was only slightly. This is the big, dumb summer blockbuster that you're anticipating. So, let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. The Rock obviously is a positive in a role like this because he's able to pull off the physicality. But he also wasn't allowed to shine that much, so he's only kind of a positive here. We didn't get enough fun, funny, charming, charismatic moments from The Rock in this film. He wasn't allowed to give those moments. It was like just pure, straightforward The Rock in action mode, which is still good, and he is believable in a lot of things that most normal, or even above average, normal-ish kind of people would be able to pull. Like swinging on this crazy handlebar thing, lifting yourself up. All of these physical things, he at least pulled off with somewhat believability. But a definite positive on the acting front, I thought, was Neve Campbell. If anything comes out of this film, I hope it is a Neve Campbell resurgence, because I think we need to see her in more films. She is a survivor, as she's shown you in all of the Scream films, and as she demonstrates in many of her action scenes in the film. So that is definitely a positive, getting Neve Campbell back on the big screen. I also think a big positive for this film is how it utilizes height. If you are going to make a film centered around action in a skyscraper, you had better really take advantage of that height element, and this film did that in spades. Even as predictable as the action is in this film, you are holding your breath because of the height escapades that are going on throughout the entire film, and they really get you. They sweep you up into those moments where you're like gasping or holding your breath as The Rock is doing these crazy height-defying acts, and they're exciting regardless if you can figure out the outcome before they even begin. They're fun in the moment, and a lot of this movie is fun. The action is fun. The pacing is really good. This movie is short, and it flies by like that. I mean, we never really stop. It is jam-packed. Another positive that I did enjoy was the fact that we did have somebody with some sort of disability in the lead. It's not a natural disability, but we did have somebody who was missing an appendage, and I think that is a positive to have an action star seen in that light. And then I think there is one really fun room. The sphere in this film creates for some really imaginative, fun sequences. Albeit, that gets stupid. There's an action scene that takes place in that sphere that just gets beyond believability. But at least they establish it, and then they reuse it, and we revisit it. And it at least attempts to create something new and fresh in this type of film. But let's get into the visuals, because that's actually going to lead us into the negatives as well. Some of these visuals were beautiful. The building itself actually was beautiful. But I think these visuals as a whole are going to look very, very dated in like 3 or 4 years' time. Because a lot of them already don't really look very good and are clearly CGI, are clearly green screen. So for every good or great visual, I think there was 2 or 3 really not good visuals in the film. I was also sad that we didn't do a whole lot of world building here. We didn't explore this amazing place, this crazy skyscraper. We're stuck on just a couple of floors or just a couple of settings. I would have really liked to like run the gambit of this huge building. Possibilities were like legitimately endless, and I don't think they properly took advantage of this world that they had created all within a single building. And then we get over to that script, which can be described as nothing but a negative, unfortunately. First of all, it's super derivative. This story is not original, even in the slightest. Clearly it takes huge inspiration from Die Hard, but you might have guessed that, seeing as the poster work took huge inspiration from Die Hard. But furthermore, it just feels like pretty much every single other big dumb blockbuster action film we've ever seen throughout history. It doesn't deviate from the plot. The characters are pretty much all one note, and our villains, oh, the villains and their motivation and the whole backstory was all throwaway. I mean, it basically didn't even need to be there. If you had taken the villains out and this had just been some sort of natural disaster, it wouldn't have made any sort of difference. And then included is every single trope we've ever seen. A last minute or insane, ridiculous type of save or correction happens in this film, and it happens about 1,000,000 times. I think it happens every 5 minutes. We get a crazy save or a miraculous action move that really is not possible, and you have to completely turn your brain off in this film if you want to get past just how dumb it is. And the dialogue is pretty clunky, pretty cheesy. We have some slow-mo action that takes place, or some dramatic slow-mo that happens near the end of the film that's like, oh, goodness, this is so cheesy. The music doesn't help. I thought the score and the original music was all very typical and cheesy of this film. So overall, Skyscraper is pretty much exactly what the trailers tell you it's going to be. It is big, it is full of action, and it's dumb. So for my recommendation on this film, if you are interested in the movie, if you like big blockbusters and you enjoy action and you like The Rock, I think you actually need to just splurge and see this on IMAX, because the height element is going to be high-end in the IMAX format. You're going to feel it, and you're going to be able to really be immersed. So if you are planning to see this in movie theaters, go all out and see it in the IMAX screen. Otherwise, if the trailers haven't interested you at all, you could probably just skip this altogether, if I'm being honest. It doesn't really offer anything new to the genre that it's bringing to the table. For my personal recommendation, I think this is a solid rental. So, that is my review of Skyscraper. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Skyscraper? And what is your favorite big action film? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!